First day of camp, and I've been thinking about what I'm going to say tonight to address the campers. And so I've been working it out in my head. I'm not going into it with anything scripted. And I'm going to give Dennis his black belt tonight. And that's a big deal. If you look at Jiu-Jitsu, this is Jiu-Jitsu. It's a black belt. And then each one of these bars represents 3 years of being a black belt. And the next bar I get next year is 5 years. So it's 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, and then the next one is 5 years. And when I think about giving someone a black belt, it has nothing to do with if they know all the techniques ever taught, if they can recall all the techniques ever taught, if they can do 20 sweeps from half guard, 20 sweeps from full guard, 50 guard passes. Like it has nothing to do with what they can recall. Usually by the time you're a black belt, you have pulled tools out of your toolbox and sometimes set them aside, and only for a special occasion do you go and pull one of those tools out. But you've really learned your game. Technically, you've learned your game. I believe a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu is only 50% of what you apply on the mats. For me, the other 50% is how you apply the philosophies and techniques in life. And so Jiu-Jitsu is a metaphor for life. For someone like Dennis Eiler, who is our Jiu-Jitsu brand manager, he used to run our Jiu-Jitsu factory. He moved to Maine a few years ago to work for Origin. And when he got here, his wife and him were adamant they would never have kids. They would never have kids because of the way that he was raised. And his dad's in prison now. His story is absolutely insane. Homeless as an early teenager. Someone ended up taking him in. And he started training Jiu-Jitsu and started looking for upward trajectory and started applying Jiu-Jitsu to life. And he was in production at Boeing and moved his way up through the Boeing Corporation in South Carolina and eventually got a job at Origin. He left Maine 3 months ago because him and his wife decided to get pregnant after being here and see what family looks like. Never in his life thought he would have kids. He didn't believe he could be a father. And I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. But he didn't believe he had it in him. And for someone like Dennis, and like a lot of people, Jiu-Jitsu brought the best out in him. And being around that Jiu-Jitsu familia brought the best out in him. And at some point, him and his wife decided in the past year and a half that they were going to try to have a child. And it's amazing that their whole worldview went 180 degrees. Not even the same worldview when it comes to what life is about. And the problem with Jiu-Jitsu is people think that life is about Jiu-Jitsu. So the obsessive ones, the crazy ones, we all go through this stage where Jiu-Jitsu is life. And you really got to flip that idea on the head, and you have to look at the different angle. You have to pull a 180 over here and say, no, life is Jiu-Jitsu. The way you walk through life, the decisions you make in life, the timing of the things you do in life, like have children, take risks, change career paths, get married, approach your relationships, friendships, partnerships. That's Dennis texting me right now, actually, and he has no idea he's getting his black belt tonight. I'll let you know when I get there. I will be there in 20 minutes. I need to look at each room. And once you change that angle and you stop making jiu-jitsu about what you know on the mats and the techniques you can apply and how tough you are and your big fat cauliflower ear, and you apply it to life, everything changes. Everything becomes available. No situation becomes too much. Now, situations in general, without coping mechanisms, can become burdensome, especially if you don't know how to escape or tap out. And so the philosophies of jiu-jitsu, which is chest under stress, when you can't breathe, when someone's sweating on top of you, when you can't move your arms, you can't expand your lungs all the way, and you're tired, and you're mentally strained, and your eyes are bloodshot, and you're twisted, and you can't move, there's always an escape. And in life, it's the same way. You know, Dennis changed his situation in life. He changed the trajectory in life. He had had his face broken by his stepdad 3 times. He showed me photos of the house he grew up in, and no one should ever see those photos. And he was virtually abandoned as a kid. And through jiu-jitsu, he found upward trajectory. And I know this kid has been ready for his black belt for a while. Technically ready. I could give it to him any time. But I wanted to see towards the end of his 30s, because I believe life starts at 40, what he was going to do and how he was going to apply it to life. And when he made the decision to have a child, I was like, something changed in this dude. He is applying jiu-jitsu to life, not in a way that I needed, but in a way that he didn't know he needed. So he didn't know he needed this final sweep to get to mount, to submit his life, because now it's coming full circle. He was scared of the position, right? Fearful of being in that position. It's like being mounted and someone smothering you. So he's been in this smothering position his whole life, not believing he could ever be a dad, not believing he could find happiness in being a father. And he found the escape. He bumped him off. He got the underhook. He got the escape, and he could breathe again. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, breathe again. And I'm not sure that would have ever happened if he didn't start training jiu-jitsu. And so I'm going to ask everybody tonight, as we're standing there for our opening ceremony, if jiu-jitsu has saved their life. I'll have everyone put their hands up, and I'm sure a few people will. I'm sure a handful of people will say, jiu-jitsu saved my life. And then I'm going to ask everybody, has jiu-jitsu changed your life? And I bet most everybody will raise their hand. And it sounds so martial arts. It sounds so out there that the philosophies and techniques can have such an impact on somebody. and you've heard me say greater than any book, any conversation. And if you look at like this belt right here, this black belt, this is like getting a master's degree and then a doctorate, right? So it's like just getting a black belt is getting a master's degree, 7 to 10 years, right? And then you get a doctorate after 3 years, and then another 3 years, I don't even know what you get, and then another 3 years, I don't even know, and then another 5 years. Like, it takes so long, just like any other schooling or higher education. This is higher education for life. I don't think there's a greater gift for teaching somebody about themselves than Jiu-Jitsu. I don't think there is. And I've played every sport: lacrosse, basketball, football. I've played at every level except for professional. I did technically compete at a professional level in Jiu-Jitsu. Almost every activity that you can get dopamine from, to get those chemical releases, I've done. Going fast and hard, riding motocross, hunting, running like Forrest Gump to get the runner's high. Like, I've done every activity. Nothing else even fits in the same bracket. And I'm not trying to convince you to train Jiu-Jitsu. You should convince yourself to do that. And if you don't want to, I would ask you to check yourself on, is that ego talking? Is it just that unknown? Am I scared of something, somebody, something happening? Am I scared of being exposed? Like, what is that thing? Because I can tell you, Jiu-Jitsu built these companies. Jiu-Jitsu built the relationships I have. They helped us scale. They helped with the worldview. They helped us understand about manufacturing, lean manufacturing, and being efficient. And you've heard me say in the past, angles. There are angles in Jiu-Jitsu, and there are angles in life. Timing. Let's come back to timing. Let's come back, because that's my favorite one. Leverage. Where do I have leverage in life? Or am I leveraged in life? This has helped me tremendously with finance. It's helped me tremendously with not getting over my skis with product development. And I still at times will tap out. Last year we had to tap out, right? We were like, yep, got submitted. Let's restart. But in Jiu-Jitsu, when you restart, it's a new beginning. It's a new chapter. Every time you train, every time you live roll, it's a new chapter. And so leverage is so damn important. Distance. So controlling the distance. How does distance apply to life? If I'm interested in proximity to my friends who I bring into my circle and who is outside the circle, that's distance. The distance between machines on the manufacturing floor. More distance, more waste. Sometimes you need distance. Sometimes you need the dead space. I call it negative space. And in Jiu-Jitsu, attacks, it's all negative space. I can't attack a boulder. I can't attack something that their arms are in tight, their chin is down, their legs are tight. There's no negative space. If I had a flashlight in a dark room and I had someone balled up and I put the flashlight behind them, you'd just see a ball. But if I push that person, they're gonna have to put their arm out. And if they put their arm out, what does that create? It creates negative space. That could be a triangle of space. And so jiu-jitsu from the bottom is making the person on top feel like they're skating on ice, right? And they can't get their balance. And so you're exposing all the negative space. And if you're on top, you want the person underneath you to feel like they're under the ice and they can't breathe. They can't find an opening. But it's all negative space. You don't attack positive space. I'm not going to attack the ball, right? I want to make sure I have two on one. I want to get inside the negative space and I want to make more space. I want to create a little leverage, and I'm going to use distance to do that. And levels. If I'm going to attack that ball, right, that boulder, I'm not going to be able to attack it top down. I'm going to have to change my levels to find the angle, to move it, to create distance, to make the negative space, to attack the negative space. And timing. God, timing's everything in life. It's everything in jiu-jitsu and it's everything in life. The secret is, in jiu-jitsu, you're either early, you're on time, or you're late. The magic is if you control the pace of the match and you're in control of the time. If you can control time, you can control whether they are late, whether you're going to be early, or whether it's going to be on time. And timing in life, the timing in which you decide to have children, get married, buy your first home, your first vehicle, take a risk on yourself. Decide to step outside your comfort zone and do something like this thing we call jiu-jitsu. And so I've seen Dennis apply all these things to life. And I've seen him as just wanting to be a lifetime learner and consume information and consume knowledge. He's a consumer of knowledge, not of things. And so it's time. And so some of these words I hope come out tonight. I'm just free flowing right now. And I hope they come out in the right way. And I hope they have an impact on everybody in this audience tonight and set the tone. Because jiu-jitsu is 50% on the mats and what you know, and it's 50% about how you apply what you know to life. So Dennis, when you watch this, it'll be a day or two after you get your black belt. Congrats on that black belt, brother. It is awesome to see your growth and how you have changed the trajectory of your life and your family's life. Proud of you, man. So let's crush it.